Mr. President.
Senator from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to express my strong opposition to the nomination of Senator Jeff Sessions to serve as Attorney General of the United States. And I ask, where are the senators who will say no to the nomination of Senator Jeff Sessions as Attorney General of the United States? Mr. Sessions is a throwback to a shameful era, which I know both black and white Americans thought was in our past. It is inconceivable to me that a person of this attitude is qualified to be a U.S. attorney, let alone a U.S. federal judge. He is, I believe, a disgrace to the Justice Department, and he should withdraw his nomination and resign his position. Those were the words of Senator Ted Kennedy, and I will stand with Senator Kennedy, and like he did, I will cast my vote against the nomination of Senator Sessions. Coretta Scott King also wrote to the Judiciary Committee about the Sessions nomination in 1986. And this is what she wrote. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to express my strong opposition to the nomination of Jefferson Sessions for federal district judgeship for the Southern District of Alabama. My long-standing commitment, which I shared with my husband Martin, to protect and enhance the rights of Black Americans, rights which include equal access to the democratic process, compels me to testify today. Civil rights leaders, including my husband and Albert Turner, have fought long and hard to achieve free and unfettered access to the ballot box. Mr. Sessions has used the awesome power of his office to chill the free exercise of the vote by Black citizens in the district he now seeks to serve as a federal judge. This simply cannot be allowed to happen. It has been a long uphill struggle to keep alive the vital legislation that protects the most fundamental right to vote. A person who has exhibited so much hostility to the enforcement of those laws.
The senator is reminded that it is a violation of Rule 19 of the standing rules of the Senate to impute to another senator or senators any conduct or motive unworthy or becoming a senator.
Mr. President, I don't think I quite understand. I'm reading a letter from Coretta Scott King to the Judiciary Committee from 1986 that was admitted into the record. I'm simply reading what she wrote about what the nomination of Jeff Sessions to be a federal court judge meant and what it would mean in history for her.
This is a reminder, not pertinent necessarily what you just shared. However, you stated that a sitting senator is a disgrace to the Department of Justice.
I think that may have been Senator Kennedy. Although I would be glad to repeat it in my own words.
The rule applies
then
to imputing conduct or motive through any form or voice to a sitting form of words includes quotes, articles, or other materials.
So quoting Senator Kennedy, calling then nominee Sessions a disgrace is a violation of Senate rules. It was certainly not in 1986.
In the opinion of the chair, it is.
So let me understand then.
And the senator is warned.
So can I ask a question in the opinion of the chair? I want to understand what this rule means.
The senator will state her inquiry.
So is it the contention of the chair that under the rules of the Senate, I am not allowed to accurately describe public views of Senator Sessions, public positions of Senator Sessions, quote, public statements of Senator Sessions?
The chair has not made a ruling with respect to the senator's comments.
The chair has not made a ruling as respect to the senator's comments.
The senator is following process and tradition.
The senator is following process and tradition
by reminding the senator from Massachusetts
by reminding the senator of Massachusetts of the rule.
and the
Well, I'm asking for
And the things
what
that
this
should
rule
apply.
means in this context. So can I continue with Coretta Scott King's letter?
The senator may continue.
Thank you. I'll pick up then with Mrs. King's letter to the Judiciary Committee when the Judiciary Committee was considering not then Senator Sessions, nominee Sessions for a position on the federal bench. There's a piece from the Bedford Minuteman that really tells the story of how sexual violence impacts Massachusetts. And this is what it said. They are mothers, daughters, sisters, fathers, sons, and brothers.
Mr. President.
They are,
Mr. President.
The majority leader.
The senators impugn the motives and conduct of our colleague from Alabama as warned by the chair. Senator Warren, quote, said Senator Sessions has used the awesome power of his office to chill the free exercise of the vote by black citizens. I call the senator to order under the provisions of Rule 19.
Mr. President,
The senator from Massachusetts.
Mr. President, I am surprised that the words of Coretta Scott King are not suitable for debate in the United States Senate. I ask leave of the Senate to continue my remarks.
Is there objection?
Object.
I appeal the ruling.
Objection is heard. The senator will take her seat.
I appeal the ruling of the chair, and I suggest the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.
A quorum is not present.
clerk will call the names of the absent senators.
The clerk will call the names of the absent senators.
Mr. Alexander.
A quorum is still not present.
I move to instruct the Sergeant at Arms to request the presence of absent senators and ask for the ayes and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There is. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Blumenthal.
Are there any senators in the chamber wishing to vote or wishing to change their vote? If not, the ayes are 88, the nays are 3. The Sergeant at Arms is so instructed. A quorum is present. The question before the Senate. The question before the Senate is whether the decision of the chair to hold the senator from Massachusetts in violation of Rule 19 shall stand as the judgment of the Senate. Is there a sufficient second? There is a sufficient second. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander. Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Barrasso.
On this vote, the yeas are 49, the nays are 43. The decision of the chair stands as the judgment of the Senate. Senate Majority Leader.
Expired. Senator Warren was giving a lengthy speech. She had appeared to violate the rule. She was warned. She was given an explanation. Nevertheless, she persisted. I yield the floor.
The senator from California.
Mr. President, the suggestion that reciting the words of the great Coretta Scott King would invoke Rule 19 and force Senator Warren to sit down and be silent is outrageous. I move that the senator from Massachusetts be permitted to proceed in order.
The question is on the motion.
Ask the ayes and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander. Ms. Baldwin.
On this motion, the yeas are 43, the nays are 50. The motion is not agreed to.